Hello everybody, Mike, aka the Magico13, here with episode 38 of the Out of This World series. Once again, around Eve with the Eve Explorer. Last time we put all of the little ComSat tadpole probe things up, so those are now good and communicating. Not perfectly, mind you, because I put them in really terrible orbits with quite a bit of deviation, but they are working well enough for our purposes, and since the save file won't really be surviving a whole lot longer, I'm not too worried about it. Also, we don't really need 100% contact. So the purpose of this episode is going to be taking these two probes. There's a land probe and a water probe. I don't remember which one is which. This one is the water probe, or ocean probe, and then this one should be the land. This should have the gas chromatograph mass spectrometer, which will determine the composition of everything. So you can see there's this giant crater here. That could be fun for the water probe, or the ocean probe, and I think for the most part everything else is land. Yeah, there's a little bit of ocean here, maybe some here, but then like this huge stretch of land, which unfortunately looks like it's on the dark side. I don't really want to drop it on the dark side, that's no fun. So why don't we set up something here to drop that down into the atmosphere. Hopefully not. I guess there's actually a decent number of lakes around here, and then that looks like it's the that's the crater. Yeah, I don't actually know how well this is going to work, but let's try to do the land one first. And my cat is tearing up the chair for some reason. Come here, Morgana. Are you stuck now? Oh, you're stuck. Okay, there you go. Stop tearing up the chair. Sorry about that. Yeah, so let's set that up there. In 15 minutes we will prepare to drop the land one, which I keep forgetting which one is which. Oh, where are you? That's the chute, that's the battery pack. Liquid, land is on this side. Okay, time warp time. Yeah, we should be good. When we release here, these will still be in communication, and the omnidirectionals on the Eve expedition ship will communicate with the omnidirectionals on here. It should be this one. Yeah, both of these only have the 500 kilometer omnidirectional right here, which is active, good. What do they have for power? RTGs? I think there's an RTG in here. And atmospheric science packages, I think on both of them. Hopefully those are working. But that maneuver is coming up. I'm going to actually delete it and decouple this. It kind of gets jettisoned out a little bit, but works just fine. Let's point it in the orbital prograde direction. Well, let's point it in orbital retrograde. It'll have to be pointing that way for the heat shield to work properly. And I'm going to quick save now. I don't know if this is going to land anywhere remotely good. But now it's pretty much just turn RCS on and start going forward. And hope that we have enough RCS. So I'm not really sure why, but for some reason we don't have a connection, even though we definitely should. This definitely has a connection, and we should have a connection to that. In fact, one is even drawn, but for some reason we're not getting a connection, which is definitely frustrating. Okay, well apparently now just reloading that was all that was needed, and we apparently have a connection again. So I don't know what that was about. No idea why that was happening, but apparently just needed refreshed. So we've just passed 90 kilometers and are now entering the atmosphere. Technically, we entered the atmosphere a little bit earlier. You can sort of see the lakes of whatever is... I may be mistaken. These may not be the lakes. These might be the land. And these are the lakes, in which case this is a giant ocean, maybe. I'm not really sure. The clouds make this very, very difficult to tell. So you can see this probe up close and personal now. We've got an RTG in the center with 2 batteries on either end, a heat shield, which has already started losing some stuff, RCS, the fuel is here, the probe, a Clampotron Jr., the omnidirectional, and all the science equipment is down here. We are dropped there. I might be able to do Eve's upper atmosphere. Yeah, that's a little too much. The only issue with this is transmitting that stuff means we are going to lose electric charge, which we otherwise would need for staying connected, but conveniently, I think we don't have to worry too much about getting too far away, because we're just a little bit ahead, and this will slide by, and we should be okay. The only thing is, we might be headed straight for that. Our velocity is actually dropping off pretty good. Should say pretty well, I guess. Down to about 1 kilometer per second. We should be good. Wow, that is... yeah, the upper atmosphere has quite a bit in it. I'm just going to keep all of this, and we can transmit everything again later. I'm a little unsure of what is what here. There's kind of a break in this cloud here, and I'm not sure if that's land or water. I'm hoping that these patches here are land. But we are still 25 kilometers up, so I'm going to fast forward time some more. Hopefully we can get down below the clouds. I do not have engineer on this. For safety reasons though, I think I may decouple. So we have a single parachute that will hopefully be enough. We can actually turn that off, let it just kind of coast on its own. And now we descend through the clouds and hope that we don't land in the water. I have never actually landed on Eve. This is the very first time I will have landed anything on Eve. And I'm hoping it's on land. I see what looks like ground scatter. Still going over 100 meters per second, but that's pretty normal on Kerbin even. So I think we're pretty close though. Yeah, parachute deployment. There goes the heat shield. And the heat shield is down. And good thing I deployed then, we have actually lost connection, so this is all on the probe now to make it down the rest of the way without blowing up. And I'm a little afraid that it's going to land right on the antenna and we'll lose that. Hopefully not, because if that happens, we won't get any of the science that this has. Come on, safe landing. Yes, safe landing, although a little on the other side of what I would like. But I'm going to quick save here. This is now permanent. We have now landed something on Eve. Unfortunately, because of the clouds, we can't see anything because we are 4 kilometers up. Sunset is quickly approaching on the surface of Eve. It's taken a couple passes to even get all the science that we've just gotten from down here transmitted. In fact, there's still some left to transmit. Unfortunately, for the larger stuff like the atmospheric analysis is a 200 MITs. It's 200 MIT is the size of the data, and that's actually so much that the period of time when this is visible is too short, and so we can't possibly transmit all of it during that time. So I keep having to redo it and then try to transmit it, and eventually I'll get all the science, but it'll take a really long time, so I'm just not even going to worry about it that much. And so since we are now done with pretty much done with this one, we can always come back to it. Since we're done with that, I'm going to switch over to the main ship again, and I'm going to do the splashdown water-based or ocean-based probe. And we're actually going to discover what the composition of Eve's oceans what the composition of the ocean is. Now we just need to figure out where to drop this. I'm thinking right here might be good. That looks like it is water, maybe? Hopefully? I don't think we're going to be able to tell by clever zooming. So in order to do that, I think we need to actually drop this probe off now. So if we decouple the node, switch here, point in the orbital retrograde direction, turn on the RCS and start firing the boosters, or the RCS jets. And we are just looking to drop down. Suppose we could have waited a little bit. I'm hoping I quick saved. I think I did. I don't actually know. Yeah, just... Will we lose random connection like before? Hopefully not. I think we would have by now. So I'm going to leave it at that, point it in the surface retrograde, time warp up, and hope that this goes as planned. We might not actually make it. We might end up landing over here. I'm not really sure where we're going to land. I obviously have not landed on Eve very often. Like I said with the last probe, these are the first things I've ever landed on Eve. We might just end up short. Yes, we are definitely going to end up short. So let's load the last quick save and hope that it's where I thought it was. Yeah, it looks like it's just before dropping that off. Good. Kind of. I mean, we still have to do all that again, but that's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, speed up time, point it in the surface retrograde, and then start physical warping. Yeah, we're definitely over the ocean region now, and it looks like it extends for a while, so we should be hopefully okay. Yeah, if we could land in here, that would be awesome. Let's actually throttle up and start using the RCS. Slow us down some more. Alright, out of RCS. Now we just leave it to the reentry I'm actually going to deploy the parachutes early. We're apparently still too high up though. What height do we need to be at? $25,000. I think we're going to be okay though. I think we're going to splash down just under here. Wow, Eve's oceans are very strange. Maybe that's just I want to see that go. Maybe that's just Alternis, but yeah, that's very strange. Definitely water. Unfortunately, we can't get the science for a impact because, well, that's water, so it can't really record that impact. Don't want to hit this going too fast. We are still going to hit it going almost 6 meters per second, which might be above the tolerance of some of these parts, but hopefully not. Come on. Safe landing. I can't tell if everything survived. I'm going to hope that it did. I'm going to actually quick save. I'm going to keep this no matter what. Let's time warp up so that the orbiter is above us. Unfortunately, I didn't get any low Eve science, or like flying over Eve, so that's one that we're going to have to miss out on. We are connected though. I need to try to flip. There we go. Now I can access the science equipment. Let's show the spectrum, the results from the ocean composition. It's mostly water, in fact. There's a little bit of uranium and some lithium, a little bit of sodium, but mostly water, according to this. So yeah, now that we are pretty much done transmitting everything, at least everything worth transmitting, I should rename this, first off. So let's turn this into 9 Eve Ocean Probe. And we should rename the other one, so let's switch to that really quick. Definitely nighttime now. Let's see if I can even find the... Yep, there it is. Oh, right, I can't rename it until the ship gets over here. Which I think is a little silly, but can't send it any commands. 9E ground probe. Let's go with surface probe. And then we are going to switch to the Eve expedition, and there's really only one thing left to do on this whole expedition, and that is wait until a return time. Or at least we have an alarm from Eve to Joule in 70 days. When is the next transfer window from... let's go from Joule to Eve. Why is Kerbin an option? Yeah, Joule to Eve is in 58 days. We can do 6 hours ahead of time. So we could send something out here and then head back. That is an option. Because it takes about 30 days for the transfer. There goes a sunset. But yeah, it takes about 30 days for the transfer. This is only about 12 days apart. So not even 12, I don't think. So we could send something out to Eve to replace this and these guys, and then send these guys back home, and they would cross paths. Figuratively, I don't think they'd literally cross paths. But until that time, and I haven't decided if I'm actually going to do that or anything, I might have this be the last episode of the series, honestly. Though I should at least bring these guys home if it's possible at all. But until that time, we have something very important to do. We are going to go switch down from the main capsule into the lab. If I can figure out which side the door is on, grab that, board that. And you know what? I just realized what could be a problem. If you can't control from the lab, then I don't know if I will be able to actually start doing research. Because we don't have any probes left, I don't think. Yeah, no connection, it says. And I can't do anything because of that. This might have been kind of a failure, if that's actually the case. Tomfred, you are going to go... I don't actually know which one of you has the higher smartness skill. I think you... or lower stupidity. I think you guys are about equal. Can I do research? Yes, I can do research with one person. And that will get us 0.286 science per day. I'm assuming that is Earth days, which is what I'm using. So 70 days, so 2.8 times 7, 14, 15 science roughly until that. That's kind of silly. Brought this all the way out here, and we're only going to get like 15 science for it. But yeah, there we have it. Let me actually just double check. Maxim, Kerman, yeah, these two should switch places. Maxim, no offense, you are not quite as science smart as Tomfred, so you will be in charge of the flight kind of stuff. You are the commander of the mission, while Tomfred is the laboratory scientist lackey guy whose job is relatively unimportant, especially if I'm only going to get 15 science. Oh, there we go, 368. So, what? 21 roughly, maybe maximum like 25 science in the 70 days that we're going to be here. We've gotten far more from just about everything else, so in the long run really doesn't mean much of anything at all. But that is the arrangements for the next 70 days probably, since there's really not much else to do around Eve. Without Gilly to explore, there's really nothing here. And without a lander other than, you know, the probes that I've sent down, we're basically done. So I'm going to switch over to the Space Center. We have gotten quite a bit of science, actually, on this whole mission. In fact, we've missed a lot of science, too. Speaking of which, there's still the mystery goo and the materials bay to get, but if we're going to come home, then we can bring that science home. We have almost 1,400 science, and there's not really a whole lot we can do with it. I think with this, I'm just going to go with the larger rockets. That'll be done in 2 days, apparently. And, yeah, I think that's basically it for the Eve mission. All we have to do is return, and I suppose that will be in the next episode. So thank you all for watching. I'm Mike, aka TheMagico13. I will see you all next time.